All right, so our contact details, it is handle on X, and of course our WhatsApp number is constantly on a screen as we discuss Saturday racing. Of course, let's be upfront. It is recorded in advance of Saturday racing, given the long weekend. We're looking forward to a very good day's racing come through from a turffontein. Of course, it is the 30th of March, the last week of March, which means it is the world's richest race meeting also taking place. It will start at around 1:30 local time. That is South African time. It is the World Cup that will round it all off for 2024. Right, let's talk to our man. It is after a heavy bruising on Wednesday, but thank you. You were part of the bruising, in fact, because you suggested a big roughie from the Mike Miller stable, and Darren was in agreement. So you guys had a premonition that it would be that kind of a day. Good morning.
Morning, sis. Got a few races right.
Yes.
The main bet, Mr. Maloney, let me down.
Oh, yes, yes. But
we live to fight another day, and
you
here
took
we
the
are.
words out of my mouth. Not out of my mouth.
We're going to start off with a confident banker in the opening leg of the bipod, sis. We're bankering number 4, Legend of Arthur. Now, a promising debut. The second horse started odds on that occasion. The stable companion to the winner. He had a run. And we don't know how strong that form is, but that was over 1,000 meters. He now steps up to 1450, and being by Lancaster Bomber out of a Galileo mare, I think he's going to love the extra. You know, he's actually extremely well related. His half brother is a Grade 1 winner. He won the Derby for Mr. Verner's.
Wow.
Hero's Honor.
Yes,
if you
yes,
recall
yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah,
I do
with
recall.
Mark Khan.
Mark Khan, a big
Yeah.
outsider. Was it for the Alexanders? If memory
Yes,
serves me right?
I
I
think-
think so.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Geez, you bring back memories.
Yeah, so he's probably going to go further in time to come, but I'm happy enough in bankering him in the bipod. He should certainly finish in the top 2.
Well, we're breaking with the tradition, Mr. Burrows. I'm sure you've heard that banker, a juvenile race, courtesy of Mr. Marie in the first leg of his bipod. It can only augur well for the rest of the day. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Cecil and Daryl. I thought very hard to beat this horse, Legend of Arthur. Now, that was a good debut. If you look at his pedigree, I mean, he's a horse looking for a mile plus. And to run 2 lengths back over 1,000 meters showed he could have a touch of class. So the step up in trip from a 1 draw and Richard Foree retains the ride, I think this could prove a runaway winner, unless there's a first timer that's strongly fancied, which I don't see right now. He will probably beat this horse, Pipe de Oro. His form, he's been well beaten in all his starts. So a confident selection, Legend of Arthur, and this could be the start of your multiples and doubles and trebles for the day.
Well, there you have it. It will be confirmed on slide shortly. There it is, that it is number 4, Legend of Arthur, a very confident selection. 8 to 10 is certainly a good springboard for the rest of those all-to-comes as suggested by Mr. Burrows. Off time to race 2 is 12:35 Champions Day, 6 April, maiden juvenile plate over the 1450, which means we're only 7 days away from what will be a wonderful Champions Day at Turffontein. Part of the long weekend, Saturday racing. It is a Turffontein racing today. Maiden plate of fillies and mares, race number 3. That'll be the first leg of the PA, and that is over the 1,200 meters. And we've got joint favourites at the moment, and they are the 1 Empress of Normandy and the 2 Someday Maybe. Both well tried. Empress Normandy will be going for a 10th attempt, and number 2 Someday Maybe will be going for a 23rd attempt, and that is also 22 to 10. The 5 Autumn Var, Richard Foree, is aboard in those colours of Mr. Ackerman on the first time. At 33 to 10 is Autumn Var. That'll be Ty Zaki and Richard teaming up, and then you're looking at the 6 Dragon 11 to 2. Now, Mr. Marie, Dragon, not the worst of debuts for Mr. Ibrahim Khan and Mark Khan, and I see it is Calvin Britannia in the right.
I thought it was a promising debut. If you watch that replay, she certainly should have finished closer on debut. She met some interference in the latter stages. She's got a lot of scope for improvement. My concern is she was in and around some very moderate sorts, Cecil, on that occasion. But this isn't a strong lineup whatsoever, barring the unknown first timer. So based on the race runners, she comes into this race with a quite a strong chance, I would believe. With regards to the 5 Autumn Var, there is a comment in the front of the book. It's not that positive. It's, if not green, could place. So I don't know if Mr. Zaki had a look at the strength of the field when he made that comment, but she doesn't have to be too good, and she's extremely well related, Cecil. She's a half sister to Grade 1 winning Canadian Summer. So follow the market. If there's any support for her on debut, them acquiring the services of Richard Free speaks volumes. I wouldn't be surprised to see her making a winning debut.
Okay, so that is number 5, Autumn Var, could be the catalyst to the outcome of race number 3. As mentioned, the 2 favourites have had a fair share of the crack of the whip at getting out of those maidens. Now, Mr. Burrows, let's touching on first-timers. Don't too much interest on the other first-timer, number 7, Frosted Green. And, of course, we're still recovering from the shock news yesterday of the passing of Mr. Hassan Adams, who was, of course, the driving force behind Madison Park Stud. And it's his colours on the 7, Frosted Green.
Yes, I had a look at this horse, Frosted Green, and it's a give me the green lights out of Frosted Honey. Now, if I recall, Frosted Honey was lightly raced and she ran second in the SA Fillies Nursery Grade 2 over 1160. So this horse could have a lot of speed to go with him over 1200. And it wouldn't surprise me to see her run right on top of them, because this isn't a strong field whatsoever. And then your other first-timer, Autumn Var, a half-sister to Canadian Summer by Var, and Richard Fourie takes the ride. So that must speak volumes. Surely this horse is fancied to go close on debut. I have to lean towards the first-timers numbers 5 and 7. And if the racehorses happen to win, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 6 could be the answer.
Okay, that is race number 3. As we look at the PA selections for that turpentine meeting, as mentioned, it is a maiden plate. Joint favourites, and we're looking at an off time of 10 past 1. That is the start of the PA on Saturday. We're looking at race number 4 as the starting point of our Pick 6 on a Saturday. 1450 is a trip. We're on the inside the track for obvious reasons. We're getting ready. We're making sure that the track, as has been the case in the first 2 big meetings, as far as the championship is concerned, has been in pristine condition. And I'm sure the track manager will be pulling out all the stops for April the 6th. Right now, we're talking about inside racing, race number 4, and our favorite in race number 4 is the one, There's a Light, in those lucky colors of Mr. Johnny Finlayson, and Roy Magna. The trainer, Richard Fourie, aboard, is currently showing at 8 to 10. Now, overnight is shortened in. 4 to 1 is the 4 Strewn Sky. The 9, the Playboy Bomber, is at 11 to 2, 7 to 1, and a better bar those. Mr. Burrows, I know you are going to be giving us your Pick 6 selections. Again, and not the most endowed with potential this race. There's a Light certainly does stand out as a very, very good banker selection, given that penultimate run as well.
Definitely. Cecil, I think this horse is ready to exit the maidens now. Narrowly beaten by Al Bayreg last time out, second behind Midwinter Wind, who's gone up to win, 3 in a row. Takes his part a bit later in the card as well. But There's a Light. He went to the front last time out, or went handy, and he was staying on all the way to the line just to get nabbed. From a 1 draw, he's going to race handy. Richard Fourie is going to give him every chance, and he'll probably try and get first run on the field. The danger I made the Playboy Bomber, but in saying that, the Playboy Bomber, from what I saw last time out, he's a horse looking for 1,800 meters. So from a deep draw, he'll be doing his best work late. On his debut, he's got 4.5 lengths to find on There's the Light. So maybe a straight line exacta 1 by 9. If you want to play the safe route, go 1 and 9 in the Pick 6.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burrows. We'll be looking at that Pick 6 in a moment as we turn it to Daryl. There's a Light and the Playboy Bomber. Those are the obvious 2. Give any chance to the 4 Strewn Sky?
Yeah, Cecil, I don't know 1450 on the inside track if it's going to be quite his game. I think maybe he's looking for a touch further, and that form line hasn't really stood
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's a
Disappointing.
concern.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, I don't believe there'll be as many as 9 or 10 lengths separating himself and his and Action, who was behind him in that same form line. You know, and Action's best race was around the bend,
Yeah.
and with Cabela up, he
Was
was
that the race
allowed.
won by Price Platinum, I do believe?
No, a Great Barrier.
Great Barrier.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And then
Yes.
he disappointed last time out. But I do believe Cabela's going to allow and Action to stride this time
Yeah.
around. And that could give There's a Light the perfect lead. The run of the race, second on the paint. Yeah, Darren touched on his form line in his penultimate start, midwinter wind. I mean, he's a three-time winner and he looks to win again today. And in that race, behind him was Donna Mo, who's
Yes.
come out and won twice and ran second.
I ran a very good second to
Yeah.
Mary's Green Light.
Cracking second, yeah. So run of the race, Richard Free from a one draw. I'm happy in bankering him in most of my bets. I'm just watching out for improvement from number 2, Viva La Victa. He's related to some stayers, so I think with this run under his belt next time out over a little bit of ground, he could be the improver. So bank number 1, There's a Light for me.
Yes, indeed. And another one just highlighted by Mr. Marie as we look at that pick six selection is the recently gelded Viva La Victa, a 3-year-old son of Vercingetrix. That's one for the notebook. That's race 4. First leg of the pick six off at 10 minutes to 2. All right, so that is now heading to race number 5 on the inside track of Turffontein. 1425 is the starter to the first jackpot. Ameritrade at 70, and it's over the 1200 meters. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us via our X handle or our WhatsApp number. And of course, the show is proudly brought to you by Betway. Now, talking of Betway, they have sponsored quite a few races. Of course, we had Albadia take part in 1 or 2 of those. And the last feature that Albadia ran in was a very game at 2 1/4 lengths behind One Fell Swoop. Jeff Seister was aboard then. Muzi gets the ride, and he's won in this horse before. That's your favorite. And that is currently at a 3 to 1. 33 to 10 is the 9 twice as wild. Recent maiden, one of the 3 Princess Lola 5 to 1, also 5 to 1 is the 5 Circus Lights. 13 to 2 and better bar those. Mr. Burrows, race number 5. Well, I was just saying to Daryl, and I didn't mean any disrespect, but it's been a while that we've seen Billy Raters come close to the winner's box. This has been a quiet spell for him.
Yes, you know, Cecil, all trainers go through that quiet period and then they just boom again. But this was Halberdier. I mean, have a look at that last run. I mean, that was an absolute cracker because he started 100 to 1. He was expected to run tailed off in that sort of field, and he was beaten 2 1/4 lengths. He's got 62 kilos, but surely on that last start alone, he's going to be competitive. His rating is still on the same mark, so there was no penalty or anything like that. His fourth to Maxa Otter he was narrowly beaten too, so maybe he's just finding his best form again now. Twice as wild, only has 49.5 kilos, and she loves the inside track 1200 from a good draw. She's going to be given every chance. They must be pulling their hair out with Long Sword because I can't work the source out. He's shown glimpses of real ability and he's just not putting it together. I see Richard Faris taking the ride once again, and he's a horse I just put a question mark on because he can win a race of this nature, but his form has been shocking to date. So I put the field in my exotics.
All right, so that's the field in a race number 5, Mr. Marie. As we prepare to look at that 5th race selection, what are you seeing beyond Halberdier?
Only twice as wild for me. Excuse me, so only numbers 1 and 9. You know, if the one had a draw and he was able to repeat his later starts, he would win by several lengths of year. He ran so far above his rating. If people recall that race, sorry, Cecil, Lucky Lad was in there. Lucky Lad, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed.
Cliffhanger was in there.
Yes.
Ziyasha.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all well above 100.
Yes.
And yeah, he was racing off for 79. Excuse me, Cecil. So he couldn't pick up a penalty. If he did, he would be close to the 100. So
Yeah.
the slightly negative has to be the draw and the 62 kilograms. But like I say, a repeat of his later start would end up in the winner's enclosure. Backed him up with number 9, Twice as Wild.
Yes.
Strictly because she's very effective on the inside track. She's only got 59.5 to shoulder. She's got a great draw. I know she's been rested since her last start, but I'm assuming that Mr. Maroon's just been waiting for a draw on the inside track for her. Yeah, so she's in receipt of quite a good few kilograms from her biggest danger, and she should get the run of the race up front or handy from a neat draw. So 1 and 9 for me. I'm not looking past the two of them.
Okay, 1 and 9, that will be the first leg of the jackpot for Daryl. And for Darren, it is field is the preferred way to go. That is race 5. So that jackpot pool will close at 14 at 25. 1,200 meters is the trip to race number 5. We look forward to the second jackpot starting shortly at 3 o'clock. To go with the show, and it is up to a middle stakes for race number 6. It's over the 1,700 meters, and a reminder that it is the last chance to get involved in a jackpot at Turffontein Inside Racing on public holiday weekend. Now, just having a look at the betting as we have it right now, it is going to be a very, very good race number 6. We've got the 2 Silent War at 5 to 2, and then looking at the 1 Pyromaniac, that is at 5 to 1. But the second favorite, and this is where I want to stop, is the 8 La Mohal. Now, Mr. Marie, La Mohal seems to be going through the gears, and now is it ready to step up to this average rating field of 90?
You know, I haven't included him in my play. He did pick up a very hefty penalty last time out, and he's taken on much stronger here. So let's see how he goes. I wouldn't be shocked to see him in the money, but it doesn't form part of my play. I've narrowed this race down to 2 runners. Now, Cecil, the obvious one is Silent War. Now, everyone will recall he was actually scratched in his penultimate start at the gates, not striding out or something of to that effect. But last time out, he confirmed his well-being with a cracking second to his stable companion. And many were shocked that the companion managed to hold on. I'm assuming the connections too. But his form is faultless on the Halfveld since joining the Tony Peter yard. So he's in a rich vein of form, well drawn, finished well clear of the balance of the field last time out. But in that very same race was Player. Now, Player was well out of his ground. He was never in contention. Here you got Muzi Yeni from a neat draw with 52 kilograms, 2 kilograms better off than Silent War in this race. He is not going to be beaten by 6.5 lengths this time round. I hope Muzi gets him into the race early, because with no weight to shoulder, you don't want to be too far off the pace. So for me, 2 and 9.
You know, you're a very, very close book. I said, gee, Player must have a chance. And I thought you'd give me some kind of a thumbs up or anything. But I had a feeling that I'm sure you'd go head that way. Player, value bet in a race number 6, Mr. Burrows. I know you have a strong selection as far as your singular bet goes, race 6.
Yes, Cecil, I fancy Silent War very strongly. You know, last time out, I thought he left his run too late because the stable companion got well clear of him and then made his run at the 300 and was closing the gap fast. But he looks in a really good space, this horse. And even with 62 kilos from a good draw, I expect him to win. He's a very confident selection for me, and I would take some 5 to 2 about him. Pyromaniac doesn't always jump too well. Sometimes he's a bit far out of his ground. He runs on very strongly. And La Mohal, 52 kilos, has to come into the equation.
But it is that confidence selection number 2, Silent War, that is currently at around 5-2. Do jump in. You do know that Mr. Burrows and his legion of followers will be on to that 5-2 before you can say wow. So that is race number 6, the confidence selection. Race number 7 will be the last chance to get involved in a pick 3 locally on Saturday. Race number 7, this, as alluded to a few moments ago, this is the last chance to get involved in a pick 3 on Saturday locally. And of course, by 3:30 or 25 to 4, we'll be well into the World Cup meeting coming through from Dana, Dubai. Right, race number 7 is over the 1800 meters, and the current state of play as far as the betting is concerned, tight at the top. We had 3-1 about the 5 Judgment Day. And then its co-second favourites, the 6 Place in the Sun and the 7 Lebethio, certainly in a rich vein of form, both at 7-2. Talking about Lebethio, one of the co-second favourites, Richard Fourie rode it last time out, and he certainly said with a lot of confidence, and it looked to be a horse that gave him a good feel. He thought this horse had a lot of wins to come through. Mr. Burrows, let's start with you. Lebethio certainly on an upward curve.
Definitely. This horse was a one-time winner after 28 starts, and now he's a three-time winner after 31 starts. So he's found his feet. He's moving better in his races, and he's quickening up well. I mean, that second to run for cover was a great effort over 1450, which was too sharp, and this is a more suitable trip for him. So he'll be right there. A Place in the Sun, she enjoys the speed on, because she usually takes a long time to unwind. But when the speed's on, she quickens up smartly the final 300 meters, and she'll be competitive too. Now, this filly, Priceless, she's very good on a day. She's not consistent, but when she settles in running, she gives that good kick. I mean, she won that at Durbanville over 2,000 meters against the Colts. She was very impressive, and followed up with a stone last 13th out of 13. Her comeback run on the high fault was a good effort, 1.75 lengths off. She's capable of winning. Pewter Sky and Judgment Day of the rest. So 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
2, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. And I see Pewter Sky has got supporters. I did see Best Bet somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. It is in this very publication, Pewter Sky. And they have certainly taken to their racing, that is Misoki and her dad. They do come through regularly. And they had a very good place source the first time in the Wyshall Mowing camp. Pewter Sky, where do you rank that in your selections?
He's in my top 4. I think this race is very competitive. Cecil, the last race he contested was a strong handicap, and he was far from disgraced. I actually like the fact that he is coming back in trip. So he does form part of my pick 3, which I've suggested. It's a 4-rand pick 3. I've gone with 4 horses in the opening leg and then 2 bankers. Judgment Day, his form line hasn't really stood up, but
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him favourite, but you never know. He's making his handicap debut, and he has performed better since being brought back in trip. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him feature over here, but he needs to up his game. A Place in the Sun with those cheek pieces on, she's been consistent. Does take time to unwind. So if they go very slow and they sprint, she'll have her work cut out. And then Lebethio, who's in great form currently. His form line has been franked with Light of Day winning, and let's just watch out for Viva de Janeiro at the Val on Thursday to see how he goes. Yeah, so pick 3 for this race suggested, 4 horses in the opening leg.
Okay, so that is 4 horses in the opening leg, and of course the no prizes for getting the 2 bankers. I will, before I even look at the selection on screen, by 5, by 3. That is your pick 3, our last big exotic on the afternoon at Turffontein. Okay, so as we approach the penultimate race rather than the anti-penultimate, that was race 7. This is race 8, the penultimate. We've got a wonderful race that to look forward to, certainly worthy of a top line status. This is our second middle stakes, but the first one is 1,700 meters. This is a 1,200 meters, and the favorite at 14 to 10 is Midwinter Wind. The second favorite is the 2. We haven't seen this one for a few months or a few weeks. The Karangatang, that is at 5 to 1. 11 to 2 is the Fort South Bomber. That is a good backup to Karangatang. And then the one, Austin Kerr, hasn't been won for a while, but has been there or thereabouts at 13 to 2. Right, Mr. Marie, race number 8, a nice race going through the divisions, and it is Mr. Fourie. Certainly, I'm sure he is licking his lips at the reuniting with the 5 Midwinter Wind. 4 rides, a win, and 3 placings.
Yeah, Cecil, you can see since being gelded, this horse is on the upgrade, and he's just improving with each and every start. Last time out, once again, the stand side track over 1400. He moved through oh so sweetly, and then started hanging in the latter stages. I just don't think he gets the 1400 at this stage. Well, he gets it, but I don't believe he's most effective over the 1400. So I love the fact that he's coming back in trip. 1 draw. Texas Red franked that form. Beats a very strong field in Pinnacle Stakes in his next start.
Heads up, heads down with Humdinger, huh?
Yeah, I know he had no weight to shoulder, but the form line has been franked. Yeah, so much in this horse's favor. I can't look past him. If you have a look at the best weighted column, he doesn't quite feature, but I'm not too concerned about that. This horse is either going to get it easy up front, or if Fire in the Flames goes, he's going to sit up second, and he'll be, his run will be timed perfectly. I expect him to get it right. If you are playing trifectas and quartets, probably look at including numbers 8 and 9. Even exactas, I'd focus on those 2. I think Ragnar Lothbrok, with the equipment changes, we could see some improvement from him. And Mr. Khan's yard is going extremely well at the moment. So a bank in all bets, and we are going to get some conference from Darren Burrows too.
Yes, Mr. Marie has just linked to you nicely there, Mr. Burrows. I don't think you would be looking beyond Midwinter Wind. But now, just a bit of my hypothesis here. If there was to be a banana skin, who would it be?
There's not going to be one. No, this horse is heading to the tops. He started very short in his last 3 starts. Last time out, I actually played to beat him. I thought the 1400 would catch him out. And he won a cracker. They supported him right into even money. But the drop in trip's going to suit him. And from a 1 draw, he's going to be given every chance. And I think he's going to prove a class above these. If there was to be a danger, I would include Tsar Bomber, but not really a danger. Midwinter Wind to win, and take the double into run for cover in the last race.
Thank you so much. The professionals have spoken. The selection is up on screen. It is the thumbs up from both our Cape Town-based analyst and our Joburg-based analyst. That is the Messrs. Burrows and Marie, respectively. That will be race number 8, so a confident way to head into race 9. And we've already got a sneak as to what we should follow in race number 9. Well, it is the last meeting on a public holiday Saturday as far as the Highveld is concerned, but racing doesn't end there. We do have that World Cup meeting on the go, and that will only end with the running of race number 9, and that is at 25 to 7, with the big one of the richest race, one of the richest races in the world, and that is the Dubai World Cup, sponsored by the Emirates airline. That will be with a total purse, local money of just under 61 million rand. But race number 9, it is an 85,000 rand stake for this merit rated 72 handicap. The gang of the 1450. Hopefully the weather holds up. Otherwise, we'll be running for cover. Who's your current favorite? And that is number 3 at 18 to 10. 92 is the one that Feel All Right, also from the Waishong Mawing stable. 7's numbers 5 at Trippy's Tune and the 6 River Dithio, also at 7 to 1. All run for cover, 14 runs for 2 wins, but has been consistently in the money. 1600 last time out, 1450, draw 1. Anything else that we can try and beat run for cover with this time, Mr. Burrows?
I thought run for cover very hard to beat.
Okay.
This horse is a 1400 meter specialist, and they keep on testing him over a mile. He doesn't stay. He doesn't see it out. The 1450, he can slot in second, third, just off the speed, and he'll give that winning kick, especially in this company. A very confident selection. I was very strong on him over course and distance in his penultimate start, and he won a tad cozily. And I think he'll do the same in this type of company. His stable companion feel all right. Won a very good maiden last time out, and he gets 4 kilos off his back. But I do believe Run for Cover is the right one from the stable.
Thank you for that confidence about the 3 in race number 9, Mr. Burrows. Now the 3 Run for Cover. Again, just give a credence to the upward trajectory that we see from Lebithio. Did run a decent fourth, 4 lengths behind Lebithio. Oh, ahead of Lebithio, and of course Lebithio came out and franked the form next time out. Richard was on Lebithio on that day when it won last time out. He's on Run for Cover. Very good way to end the day.
Yeah, Cecil, I think the distance was a factor on that occasion. He's not a miler, in my opinion. The 1450 inside track cracks a draw once again. Richard Free, super fit. There is going to be pace in the race. They're certainly not going to be cutting throats, the 2 stable companions. So if Richard can just slot in behind, feel all right, get the run of the race, we can see a repeat of his penultimate victory, because that was a very smooth and effortless win on that occasion under the hands of Brian Munger. So I expect him to go very, very close to winning. I just made a slight danger, or a very small danger, but you can't really be overly bullish with his chances.
Can I guess,
Nazar
please?
or Nazare.
Oh, okay.
Because his last start was a shocker.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Dawson or Candace is...
Mrs. Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen, he's backing up very soon, 11 days later, so there couldn't have been anything wrong with him. His penultimate start, when he returned from a layoff, wasn't a bad effort whatsoever, and he likes the inside track, especially this course and distance. I can't believe this horse is as low as a 66. He will be in the trifecta position, but Run for Cover to get it right.
All right. I thought you were going to go to our friend number 6, Redithio, once again, because it is coming down on that rating, huh? Oh, you're over. You are unforgiving, Mr. Marie.
Yeah.
But it is a confident selection from both our tipsters. In effect, the last double will read number 5, a Midwinter Wind in race 8, and the number 3, Run for Cover in race number 9. And there was confidence, mutual confidence in race number 4 about the one. There's the light. So there's that treble. Evens, I think, flirted with 8 to 10. You may just ask your bookmaker for that evens in, of course, race 2. No value, but part of that all to come. Legend of Arthur. So a good weekend ahead of us. Thanks so much to Darren and Daryl.